a podcast to honor the gods.
This better come with a sacrifice.
Dave X Media.
We kept moving, and passed a skeleton crumpled in the tunnel. It wore the remains of a dress shirt, slacks, and a tie. The spider didn't slow down. I slipped on a pile of wood scraps, but when I shined a light on them, I realized they were pencils, hundreds of them, all broken in half. The tunnel opened up onto a large room. A blazing light hit us. Once my eyes adjusted, the first thing I noticed were the skeletons. Dozens littered the floor around us. Some were old and bleached white. Others were more recent and a lot grosser. They didn't smell quite as bad as Gary on Stables, but almost. Then I saw the monster. She stood on a glittery dais on the opposite side of the room. She had the body of a huge lion and the head of a woman. She would have been pretty, but her hair was tied back in a tight bun, and she wore too much makeup. So she kind of reminded me of my 3rd grade choir teacher. She had a blue ribbon badge pinned to her chest. That took me a moment to read. This monster has been rated exemplary! Welcome to Of the Eldest Gods, where we discuss Rick Riordan's role as our godly parent.
I'm Ray from Cabin 12.
And I'm Charlie from Cabin 13.
And I'm Adele from Cabin 7.
Welcome!
Hello! It's been so long.
It has been very long.
So long, I wasn't even here last time.
It's been eons, ages.
I mean, Taylor also wasn't here the last time Adele was on the pod.
Oh yeah, true.
I think that was one of the times that Taylor was like sick and couldn't record, so Adele was like the co-host / guest.
Yeah, that was fun. I think, was that talking about a chapter, or was that the time that I was just like talking about gay things for like a solid like 70 minutes?
That was a different time.
Oh,
the time I'm
I can't keep track.
We were talking about Scylla and Charybdis. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh
of.
Yeah. Well, that also was kind of gay because I think I was talking about like monster, how they're like misunderstood monsters. Yeah. Oh, look, this chapter we're also going to be talking about another misunderstood like sexy female monster. So
I was going to say, are you still in your monster fucker era?
I never left, Charlie. I never left.
Fuck yeah.
I never left.
It's been a while. It's been a long while. So I needed to know.
It has. Yeah. Listen, if there's one thing I like, it's women. And if it's another thing I like, it's like scary fictional women who are like outside the box, unappreciated. I'm here to appreciate them. Yeah.
Beautiful. And you have your whole thing for the Sphinx, so that's why we really had to get you on for this chapter. So
of course.
Yeah, I love the Sphinx. You know, like I also like cats. So, you know, I think that kind of goes hand in hand with being a lesbian and then also liking women.
I was gonna say you like pussy?
God.
Oh my God. I wasn't gonna say it, but yeah.
It's an explicit podcast.
Yeah. You know, I was on the restricted section talking about the Sphinx in Harry Potter, and she was kind of a slay. And this Sphinx, while she doesn't have as much like screen time, or I guess chapter time, she's still kind of a slay. So yeah, I'm here for it. Yeah.
Excellent. I can't wait to get into it.
Ray, please tell us what this chapter was about.
Well, in this one, they play a game show of death, which is a decent chapter title. It gets us moving at the end there. Anyways, so what happens is our good summoning ritual goes great, but Minos butts in where he isn't wanted as per the usual, and he says a bunch of cryptic shit, and Nico tells him to step off. And then Bianca shows up, and everybody feels really emotional about it. She tells Nico to stop trying to fight the natural order, and he is very unsatisfied with that conversation. Percy dreams about Luke and Kelly again, because of course he does, and they get joined by Compy, and then he gets dream stabbed. which moves him into his other dream, because Percy dreams a lot in this book. And in that one, Daedalus just straight up murders his nephew because he's like jealous, and he sucks. And then Athena maybe curses him or something. And then in the morning, they leave Nico at the ranch and go labyrinthing again to find Hephaestus with a cool spider that that guy gave them, and Annabeth doesn't like that. And then they run into a heavy-handed metaphor for standardized testing in the American school system, and
Yes!
it's gone the fuck away from there and end the chapter. Fuck yeah. It was a long one.
I love this.
The standardized testing.
This was just a beautiful little summary at there. The fact that labyrinthing is now a verb. Love it.
Yes.
Beautiful. I also just realized as I was reading the chapter, I'm like, wait, we're bringing back Adele on the Deus Ex Media stuff for standardized testing specifically. Because you were on for the Owls episode for the research section, and now you're on for this.
I've become like the expert. I guess it's because which is funny because you got like the person with the most like academic burnout to come talk about fucking standardized testing again. Like, oh my God, get me out of the school system, please. Let me graduate. Like, I'm tired.
Free her.
Yeah, please. Also, I love how I was reading some of these Sphinx questions, and I was like, I don't know these answers.
Yeah, no, not at all. Like, when you're a child and you're reading this especially, you're like, what are they talking about?
Yeah, I felt kind of dumb just because, and also, what is it a Percy Jackson book set about, chapter set about standardized testing if there isn't an answer that is Abraham Lincoln? Of course, they had to throw Abraham Lincoln in there. Yeah.
Classic.
Rick and his boner for the Civil War.
Yeah, oh my God.
It's always here.
Choose someone else. Oh my God. Yeah.
At all times. All right. Well, before we get into the standardized testing of it all, we gotta talk about the myths in this chapter. So, in case you missed it,
Oh my God.
I was looking up the Wikipedia and I forgot to do it. But I'm just.
How dare you, Ray? I think you might be canceled.
No!
Canceled for lack of drum roll.
I'm sorry, I couldn't support you in these trying times.
You'll make it out to me eventually. So let's talk about Perdix.
Yeah, kind of fucked up, huh?
Just a little bit.
Some casual child murder.
Yeah,
to start
child
off
murder.
the discussion. Yeah, it's casual.
Also just interesting how this name works in this mythology. So Perdix is possibly the nephew or possibly Daedalus' sister.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, the names are weird. They couldn't decide what his name was and what her name was. So the nephew's name is possibly Perdix, possibly Talos or Kalos, I guess. But Perdix makes the most sense. I'm glad that Rick went with it because it means partridge, which is what he gets turned into. So
yeah,
it makes most consistency sense.
Also, I think it's a different level of dark if Daedalus had killed his sister. This is kind of nice. I don't know. There's the added bonus of child death, which is so dark.
Yay,
not that it's a bonus, but I don't know. It's extra jarring. I was reading this and I was like, oh yeah, he straight up pushes. Well, not pushes, but he engineers so that he falls off a tower. What a terrible way to die.
Yeah. So it's pretty. Rick is pretty darn on point with how this all goes down. Daedalus is very hubristic. He's like, I'm so proud of myself, but this kid, he's so cool. He's gonna replace me, basically. What does this kid do that makes him so cool?
I think the line that really gets him is when he says, when Perdix says that the king has been talking to him.
Right.
And the king is kind of setting up this rivalry and kind of pushing this stake a little bit and Perdix, you're going to become the greatest inventor, you're going to do better. And then Perdix passes that on to his uncle. And I think that's the real catalyst. So I think moral of the story, fuck Minos as per usual.
Literally.
I hate that guy.
Get rid of him.
I mean,
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I don't know which king Rick is talking about in, like, the chapter, because
Oh, true.
when this happens, based on, like, the mythology, Perdix dies before Icarus. That's how it happens. Like, I mean, I know there's no, like, timeline of events in mythology, but Daedalus was in Athens, and then he gets booted out of there because he did a child murder. He, like, runs away to Crete.
Interesting.
Okay.
I think Rick has switched it around.
Yeah, definitely.
Just by saying, like, which is an interesting choice. I think narratively for this book, it makes sense that he switched it. I guess he wouldn't be in Crete anymore. He would be in somewhere else.
Oh, right, because he escaped from there. So yeah,
because he escaped. So what king is this?
Who
Unclear?
could say?
Yeah.
Oh, where does Daedalus escape to?
He just says, like, Perdix says, the king loved it. He said I might be even smarter than you.
So after Icarus, I'm on Daedalus's page for a second here.
Mm-hmm.
He escapes to Sicily, so maybe that's where he is?
Makes sense.
Almost like the king of Sicily. Yeah, so it's just some guy who's probably just like...
Yeah, that's where he does a different, like, whole thing.
Yeah, he gets a new job. Yeah, it totally makes sense.
I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird shit. So Perdix, I guess, invents, like, a compass or something out of just, like, 2 little pieces of iron, and Daedalus is so envious of this small boy for doing this one thing. He murders him. He straight up pushes him off in the mythology.
Right.
And yeah, Athena turns him into a partridge. Makes sense.
Which also doesn't happen in the book, which is too bad for him.
Well,
we don't see it.
It does. We don't see. I would like to think that it happens so that, like, a 9-year-old boy doesn't, like, smush to death on the rocks. I would like to think so. I don't know.
It's nice to believe.
Know. I'm gonna go with that theory because Athena does kind of show up and she's like, he's under my protection.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would. Yeah. Let's go with that. Otherwise, it gets a lot darker.
But yeah, not to get too much into the chapter too early, but I do like Rick's version better because it feels like it has a lot more layers. Just of Daedalus having already lost his son and the bitterness that comes from that, and how that influences what happens here. Because this just makes mythology, Daedalus, like, a complete piece of shit. Not that child murder is ever justified, but...
The fact that it's like, oh yeah, he's a complete piece of shit, but Athens is like, but we also claim him, like, he's the grandson of one of our founder kings, so, like, we're claiming him, he's awesome.
But Sphinx time, we get to talk about the coolest thing ever.
We get to talk about her.
Her TM.
Okay, so Sphinx, plural, sphinxes or sphinges?
Huh. In my brain, it's just also Sphinx again, but plural.
That works, I guess.
Yeah.
But I see here that that's not correct, but I like it better that way, personally.
Yeah. Agreed. All right, so the etymology, to squeeze. Oh boy.
Huh.
I'm just seeing Adele's face.
Well,
there's just, like,
that sounds vicious.
There's so many horny jokes you could make with that. Just, like, I don't even know.
To tighten up?
Well, I was thinking more like step on me, mommy.
Yeah.
I also really like how the Greek tradition is a woman, and then the Egyptian one is a man. Like, the Egyptian tradition, usually. And then, like, she's treacherous and, like, kind of, like, more evil, I guess, as a woman. And as a man, she's, benevolent. So boring.
Oh, of course.
The Greek one is more of a slay. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're not talking about the Egyptian ones. I mean, yeah, they're important, but, like, we're gonna talk about this one. Moving down to the Greece section. There are a couple other specific types of sphinxes, though, that I think are fun. We got ram-headed sphinxes and hawk-headed sphinxes.
Oh,
didn't know that.
Which Herodotus wrote about. Again, another person who tells lies on the internet. Our favorite historian who tells lies.
Yeah, I personally, I mean, it's a no-brainer for me that the favorite one is going to be whichever one has like the head of a woman. So,
Of course,
Yeah.
obviously.
yeah.
All right, so who here knew the riddle of the Sphinx before?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Percy Jackson
I did.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
almost positive I knew it before having read the book.
I think I did, but I definitely like was cemented in my mind by reading it. You know, it's one of those things.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the was it four
legs in the morning,
You
two
gonna sing it?
legs in the day, 3 legs in the evening, as body and mind decay. You know. Sorry, Adele, don't worry about it.
Oh my god.
Ray and I covered this album that has some Greek mythology things in it. It was very,
Yeah.
very cool. The riddle of
Have you guys
Sphinx
covered-
is very cool.
Have you guys covered Hades Town yet?
I'm trying to convince Charlie to listen to it.
Convince Charlie? Charlie, what do you mean you need convincing?
I
It's
want to
fucking
be able to
slaps,
see
Charlie.
it before I can listen to it, okay?
Charlie,
Okay, just the bootleg on YouTube, you know the on the tube. I'm not condoning any piracy. Official statement, but
just
Yeah.
listen to the album with the rest of us poor people.
Hades
Yeah.
Town slaps.
It's so
I've heard it's very good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna see it eventually. It's gonna be a thing, okay? We'll do this.
fine.
Okay, as long as that's a formal promise.
It better be.
I swear on the river Styx.
There we go. We
Excellent.
got it, folks. We got it. We're gonna like make you like a massive Hades Town fan.
Hell yeah.
Well, it's funny too because like a lot of actually maybe if I can get you to watch Hades Town, I can get you to watch, although that may be pushing it. A lot of what's really interesting is a lot of opera has like Greek myth as the base for their story. Yeah, which is really interesting. Like Orpheus, especially.
Oh yeah, of course.
Makes sense.
Don't get me started on this though. That's a massive can of worms, and I'll talk about that forever. But Hades Town slaps.
Well, we're gonna talk
So
about the riddle of the
sphinxes.
Sphinx, though.
Yeah, still, yeah. As a kid, I knew of this riddle because I read The Hobbit and then got
Yeah.
super into riddles. And as a kid, I was like, oh my god, like I'm in the gifted program. I'm smart. I can do riddles. And then like encountered like I don't know, a lot of riddles. And this is kind of like one of the classic ones, right? Like
It is.
yeah, very much.
yeah, classic old school one. So
Yeah, I feel like it must have come up in like a class for me or something where like it was just like a fun little thing that we were talking about once. Cause
Yeah.
I can't like pinpoint where I knew it from, but yeah, I remember learning it.
Yeah, there's also like another riddle. It's not just the one about man. There's also there are two sisters. One gives birth to the other, and she in turn gives birth to the first. Who are they?
what? I've never heard that before.
The answers are day and night.
Okay, that's what
Oh.
I kind of figured it was going for, but that sounded dumb. So
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I have heard that one, but I'm also like big old nerd. So
see, the problem with some of these older riddles is that like you're like, sure, that can fit, but it does not lead there logically on its own. You know, it's like maybe it works better in the original language.
Yeah. But you'd have to assume then that day and night are like female. and
yeah,
that
they are
a
feminine
lot of
in
cultures
Greek.
are not. Yeah, so
Right.
that's why it's Greek specific because a lot of cultures. I think it's like the sun has more masculine energy, while the moon is more feminine, or vice versa.
And that is how the
for the
gods
Greeks,
are
they
in the
probably
Greek.
thought, oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's also different from like day and night specifically are also two different goddesses on their own besides the sun and the moon.
Mhm.
And,
Interesting.
Well, yeah.
I don't think those ones are actually like sisters though. I think Nyx is the mother of fucking I don't remember what her name is, but the day.
Yeah, and then the sun is Helios, right?
Helios or Apollo,
Yeah.
depending
Well,
on whichever one.
I'm gonna go old school. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is like one of the famous riddles. But the Sphinx herself, so she guarded the entrance of Thebes. Because, Thebes was kind of fucked up. For
As
many
the
reasons.
film Hercules has taught me.
Correct. But, Oedipus, that's where he comes from. So, like, they had a lot of shit going on. And even before Oedipus...
Something in the water, for sure.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. I mean, before Oedipus, it was Dionysus. So... something in the water?
Something in the water.
Dionysus, not Oedipus.
Dionysus is the one who fucked them up because they fucked him over, so...
Yeah.
Dionysus would spike the punch at your prom, though.
He would.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Don't trust him to be your DD.
No.
At all.
Okay, so this is interesting that either Hera or Ares sent the Sphinx to Thebes. That's interesting. I want to know why. Why them? I don't see anything about why that is. What do you guys have against Thebes specifically? Tell me.
I feel like it's more fun if it's Hera. There's two different interpretations, I would say. Like, if it was Hera, that would be interesting given that it's like, like it's a female monster that is, described as kind of treacherous and definitely, like violent, like definitely not a pacifistic monster. But if it's Ares, I don't know.
I don't know if the connection with Hera would be here, but actually I kind of might. But Ares, I know, had beef with the founder of Thebes, so I guess that could be a thing for why. Ray, you were gonna say something?
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, if Ares does it, it feels like gross. Like,
yeah,
like disrespectful of women or something. I don't know.
I mean, do we have anything about the creation of the monster? Like, is this one of the, you vexed me, therefore I'm going to turn you into a monster? Or is this, like a...
She was born a monster. She was
good for her.
Possibly Echidna and Typhon's child, or the child of, our two-headed dog from, like, last chapter? And some unknown monster, which would be Chimera, Echidna, or Cato. So
yeah, okay.
She was just born like this. She woke up like this. She was
born this way. She's beautiful in her way.
Yeah, she's got the woman's face, the body of a lion, and wings of a bird, and always breasts.
What's not to love in a woman?
She always has breasts. It's important.
You gotta see them titties.
which is weird because if she has the body of a lion, then they put boobs on a lion. But
I mean, do your lions not usually have giant boobs? Clearly, all lions.
I don't know what part of the world you're living in, but my lions don't have giant titties. Yeah. It's not mentioned in Battle of the Labyrinth, though, whether or not
she had giant tits.
Luckily, yeah.
It doesn't come up. I feel like Battle of the Labyrinth Sphinx is wearing clothes. Like,
yeah.
I don't think it was described,
she's respectable.
But she probably is.
Although free the titty, I'm kind of here for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let it all hang out, girl.
Yeah. Hashtag free the nip.
Okay, so it's not written here, but I'm trying to remember why she was sent there, and I want to say it was, like, something because of, like, Oedipus's father, the king, did something, but, there's a lot of shit
sounds
going
familiar,
on in
like,
Thebes.
from the Oedipus story or something.
Yeah, I feel like there was, like, something wrong, and he did something, and he upset the gods. So
probably
they have the Sphinx, like, making it so people can't enter Thebes. And then, of course, Oedipus comes along. This is, I believe, after he's killed his father.
Yes.
And then he gets the riddle correct. And then she kills herself. Literally, just throws herself off a rock.
God forbid
which is a bit
women
dramatic.
do anything.
There's a version where he kills her, but...
Well, I like the version where she devours herself. Because it's kind of like a statement. It's like, you can't kill me. I'm gonna eat myself.
Right. It feels more like a power move.
Yeah. When I too fail a test, I'm just gonna eat myself then.
Yeah.
Damn.
When she when she, like, throws herself off a high rock, that just, like, makes me sad. Like...
And she has wings, too. Like, Queen, just fly.
Yeah.
Fly away.
Literally.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I like to think that instead of throwing herself off a rock or eating herself, she, like, makes it look like she died. But then she just, like, flaps her little wings and flies away and is currently on some, like... She's on the same
really
island that Amelia
like...
Earhart is at.
They're
in the Bermuda
girlfriends,
Triangle.
actually.
Yeah.
Good for them.
She's just on that island in the middle of nowhere, living her best life, where all the other, like, famous
Lost
people who went
lesbians
missing
are.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, actually. Yeah, that's where I was these past, like, 6 months, Charlie. I was taking vacation there, actually.
I knew it.
And let me tell you, yeah, free the nip. It's the island of titties out.
Oh my god. So let's talk about this chapter.
I was just reading in the wiki.
Oh.
Wait, I have to talk about Jean Cocteau for a second, because
All right.
Jean Cocteau? Oh, Jean.
Yeah, Jean Cocteau or something. Anyways, in his Oedipus legend, The Infernal Machine, the Sphinx tells Oedipus the right answer to the riddle so that she can kill herself so that she doesn't have to kill anybody else.
Oh.
And also because she, like, is in love with him or something. And then he just, like, leaves her high and dry.
The fuck?
What the fuck, bro? Sorry, I just got distracted by this in the wiki. It made me really, like,
wow.
Damn, dude. Anyways, let's move on.
God, sometimes these things are just bad.
Weird. Oh, I just want to read one line from the wiki. Sigmund Freud describes the question of where babies come from as a riddle of the Sphinx. And I'm going to say this is a personal fuck you to Sigmund Freud. And we all know where babies come from. The storks deliver them.
Yeah,
we're not dumb,
idiot.
Freud.
Checkmate.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
How does this chapter start? What's going on?
I don't remember.
Where are they?
We're at a septic
Where are we?
tank
Yeah,
hole.
we're on a farm. We're summoning the dead.
Casual, like, Friday night plans. Summoning the dead.
Oh yeah. You ever just, like...
Yeah.
There's just, like, a pit in your backyard and you fill it with root beer and some barbecue.
Sexy ghosts,
and then
obviously.
chant in ancient Greek.
Yeah, that's what I do every Saturday night.
I believe it.
Yeah, great results, 10 out of 10.
I need a good friend group to, like, get together to, like, do this kind
A
of stuff
seance,
with.
basically.
Like how you can never, find a good group for D&D. It's like that. Like...
Yeah. Yeah, me and my friends, we just get together, we're septic tanks, throw in, like, McDonald's and barbecue, chant in ancient Greek,
and
ghosts appear.
You summon up a ghost. And you have a grand old
What happens afterwards, we won't disclose.
Oh, I know you fucked the ghost. I know you did.
Isn't that the plot of that one movie? I'm aging myself here by, like, showing how young I am. It's like Patrick Swayze.
I was gonna say, I know this movie.
I think it's just called Ghost.
Oh, fuck.
Is it just called that? Okay.
I only know that because
Ghost?
it was referenced in a Community episode, though, so I'm not any better.
Amazing. Yeah, basically that's my Saturday night.
Beautiful. Amazing. I'm happy for you.
Thank you. It doesn't go like that in this book, though. It's a lot more PG and spooky. Ookie spooky.
Yeah.
Ookie
so
spooky.
nobody is very happy with this summoning ritual. Percy's like, it's fine, guys, but also it's not very fine.
Grover is not fine either.
And Minos
Grover's
shows
like
up.
freaking the fuck out.
Tyson doesn't like it.
Minos, like, butts ahead to the front of the line. First of all, no one likes like a line cutter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then he's just like, let me get some of this, like, barbecue soup, and then
he's an evil king, dude. That's why.
Gears.
You know?
He's just such a man. It's so frustrating.
Men.
Like, he's like that one guy who tries to, like, talk to the bouncer to get into the club and, like, butts his way in. He's like, I don't have to pay the cover. My friends are already inside. He's like that.
Absolutely.
Except instead of a cover, it's barbecue soup. And the other people in the line are Bianca.
all of the people are Bianca. Every single one of them.
Well, it's a short line, okay?
Okay, I like this diss that Minos has for Percy. Just like, Sons of Poseidon haven't improved over the centuries. Because, you know, Theseus...
My god, fucking get his ass.
His least favorite
demigod.
Yeah,
that was a good roast.
Was the Son of Poseidon.
Yeah. 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 And then Percy's like, I wanted to punch him, but I figured my fist would go through his face. And I was like, just do it anyways, Percy. Like, it'll make you feel better. When in doubt, punch the ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or get like one of those leaf blower things or a vacuum to kind of like dissipate the ghost like material. Yeah, blow them around everywhere.
Like in Luigi's Mansion.
Yes, exactly.
I was thinking they gotta get the thermos from Danny Phantom and just like suck him into it.
Oh, yep. Yeah. Get the Ghostbusters.
Who are you gonna call?
Problem solved.
There's a lot of people with ghost vacuums out there, huh?
Yeah, and yet Percy has no comeback to that epic roast.
Come on, boy.
That Minos had for him.
Yeah.
He's a boy on a mission. He wants to talk to Bianca.
Yeah. Yeah. I do like the subtle Minotaur drop, though, from the first book. That was kind of like...
Callbacks.
Yeah. Do you think, how did Minos know about that? Do you think, like, word traveled in the underworld?
Oh, definitely.
I assume it does.
And they were like, did you hear that Percy Jackson, like, 12-year-old punk kid beat the Minotaur? Wow.
You know, they got, like, some sort of, like, thing to know about all the drama that's happening with the demigods. Like...
Yeah. Is there, like,
newsletter?
reality TV of the demigods, like, playing in the underworld or something like that?
The real demigods of New York City.
Yeah.
I don't know. But they definitely, like, word gets around. Everybody hears about Percy somehow.
Yeah.
And it's weird.
He's the main character.
Exactly.
Obviously. What a slay.
Minos says that, like, Daedalus is bitter from the guilt of murder. He's cursed by the gods.
And Percy's like, what?
I didn't know about that. But you will
Percy's
soon.
like,
You are about
I
to
haven't
find
read
out,
Ovid.
my boy.
No, Percy wouldn't have read Ovid. He's Roman.
Oh, that's true. That's true. And then Minos is like, I'm gonna, what did he say? I'll turn their minds to madness. Yeah, what a dick. Like, and they mentioned Chris Rodriguez,
asshole. Yeah,
who is a slay, and I have a soft spot. I have a soft spot in my heart for Clarice, even though I don't think she's straight. So this whole
ain't straight.
boyfriend thing,
She's
not straight. She's definitely at least like bi, which is a slay.
Okay. My hot take: Chris Rodriguez, he him lesbian.
Oh,
you know what? I support it.
I support it too. Yeah. Which makes this even sadder.
Yeah.
Turn to madness.
No. How could he?
Yeah, Minos is homophobic confirmed.
I mean, I think that was already confirmed by what he's doing to Nico, but
It's just
literally.
But that's a story for another day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so fuck Minos. He's driving people mad. We don't like him. And
he is literally the worst. And Nico at least is like, step off, my dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we see
But he's
Bianca.
of course got to get in the last word and be like, you cannot trust these heroes. Like, shut up.
Shut up. Go away. Where's the vacuum when you need it? Yeah.
Fuck off, Minos.
And then Bianca shows up.
And then we cry.
Queen.
And
then we cry. Yeah.
Percy has a hard time. Nico has a hard time.
Everybody else feels really, really awkward.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
God. They don't talk at all. But okay. Bianca's, like, holding grudges is, like, our fatal flaw. Like, a child of Hades' fatal flaw. I want to know how she knows this information. Was it her fatal flaw? I don't know.
Do you think she had a grudge against, like, Nico or even, like, the situation and, like, her dead... Well, that she thought, like, her dead parents for the fact that, like, she had to, like, grow up so fast and take care of Nico.
Maybe,
do you think that was kind of her grudge? And then the fact that she went on the quest and then died?
Maybe that's part of why it was so hard for her just to, like, deal with the situation that she was in before she joined the Hunters, because there wasn't really anybody to blame for that situation. She can't be mad at Nico, he's just a kid. And so, like, she had to remove herself.
Her parents are dead. Or that she thought. Like, there's no one to hold a grudge against, but, like...
It still was
still a grudge there.
And her fatal flaw.
In my experience, the problem with not having anybody else to blame for your situation is that you start getting mad at yourself, and it becomes like this whole like self-flagellating like cycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah. Because, I mean, she joined the Hunters to be independent, and joining the Hunters and going on the quest was kind of like...
So I guess she kind of, like, didn't have... she wasn't holding a grudge against Nico because, he's just a kid. She wanted to hold a grudge against her parents, but she couldn't. So she ended up holding against herself, and that was her fatal flaw. She's like, it's all my fault. I gotta do this. And that's what killed her.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Especially when you consider, like, that last scene that she had when she's, like, take care of Nico. Like, I don't know, it brings everything full circle. Her story's very tragic, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, and I'm always sad that we didn't get to see more of her.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure this is her last appearance.
Like, she's such a good character. I would love to have more of her around, but, like, it is better to let the dead stay dead in your stories. It lets death be more impactful.
Yeah, this isn't the CW.
And I'm not gonna... Oh, the CW. I like, there are, like, I know, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but her, I don't know how to say this without spoiling anything. You know, well, she's dead. And, like, she died a hero's death, and she, like, ultimately, like, lived as a... Like, she sacrificed herself, which is, like, the highest level of hero. And I think that resting place and such is, like, a fitting end for, like, her story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
like,
Rick,
making the hero's choice.
So maybe Rick shouldn't, like, go back on those things in later things, if that ever happens. You know?
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, so Nico also apparently blames Bianca, is what, like, everybody is getting at. It's like, no, you don't actually blame Percy, you blame me because I left you.
But once again, like, she died, and he doesn't want to blame her and any more than she wanted to blame him for the situation she was in beforehand. And so, it's this whole thing of, like, having to redirect because you're angry and you don't know who to be angry at.
Yeah. Basically, Nico has a lot of trauma. And
yeah, he does.
It's all about
Minos is not the right therapist for him.
Oh, no, definitely not.
Yeah, ghosts don't make good therapists.
He literally makes another child need therapy, so...
Yeah. But this whole thing about, like, holding grudges is a fatal flaw of Children of Hades, like, that's linked to Hades himself.
Right.
And when we look at Hades as a character through this lens of, like, what are his grudges and, like, what does he do about them? It's really interesting going forward in the series to kind of think about that. And, like, his actions in the past as well. Because, like, the whole thing is this massive grudge he has about, like, being ruler of the underworld and drawing the short straw or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that informs all of his actions. And therefore it, like, informs his kids. And I think that sucks.
Yeah, because, like, remember, Hades is, like, actually the oldest of Kronos' sons. So, and he's the one who got, like, the last pick of, like, everything.
Drew the fucking short straw.
Kinda sucks.
Yeah.
So Bianca has to leave, because Nico's powers are gaining the attention of Kronos, because Tartarus and all that shit. Rude. Goodbye. We'll never see her again.
I honestly don't think we do. I think, which is kind of sad, because the last time Nico saw her was when she was like, Sayonara, I'm going on the quest. And, like, then he gets one conversation with her as a ghost. Yeah. And, like, that's it.
Yeah,
like,
this is not good closure for my boy.
Yeah.
No.
She tries.
No.
She tries to give him some solid advice, but she's gotta go. And now it's time for dreams. Dream time with Percy.
Percy needs to take, like, some melatonin or something to really have, like, a dreamless sleep. This is, like, out of hand.
For real.
Nah, we need those good
he's like
dreams.
Waking up in a panic and, like, it's no good.
We need them. We need to know the plot.
Yeah, well, how else will we know what else is happening?
Yeah.
With the rest of the plot. However, will we know what Luke is up to?
Exactly. So, Luke and his girl, Kelly the Impuza, are together again, but Luke doesn't have a sword.
They're boning, right? Like, this is, like, established?
It's pretty much established.
They seem to be on again, off again, and probably off currently. But,
I think they hate Bang.
Yeah, I like to think so too. I think that like she is more into him than he is into her. I think that's the situation. But Luke, you know, he's got a lot going on. It's very stressed.
He needs some
He's got
stress
some
relief.
impeding
He's got to
shit
get that
happening.
release, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I'm hoping that, you know, and, you know, I'm always here for some monster fucking. So, like, it's kind of a slay for him. Good for him, you know?
There
Like,
you go. Luke is a
expand those,
monster fucker.
you know, exactly. Yeah. Moving beyond those prejudices, like, this is good.
Yeah. So, how do we pronounce her name again? Compy? Yeah.
Yeah, good enough.
She's here. Percy can understand her now.
Dream logic.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a self-proclaimed monster fucker, I just want to say I would not smash. She is too scary. She's too scary. Yeah. I can get over a language barrier, but she frightened me as a child, and she continues to frighten me. So I just want to just put that in there. That is like where I draw the line.
That's a bonus
But
episode we should do is Monster Smash or Pass.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think Adele's going to be on for that.
Kelly gives me like sort of, she's kind of a little too demanding, not personally like my type. I don't know, just her personality. But Compy, I don't know, or Compe, yeah, just too scary. It just, yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
All right.
She gives me kind of like Ace vibes. Like, I don't think, like, she only wants one thing, and that's to kill people.
Yeah,
and I'm not really here to be like killed.
like
I'm here to have a good time.
She is older than the concept of fucking. Like,
I think she...
Yeah, she doesn't have time for that.
I was going to say, I feel like she likes to torture people, and, like, that's it. Like...
Yeah, like
yeah,
a dumb
yeah,
thing,
and-
but, like, not necessarily, like, sexual, but, like...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I mean, if it was like torture and then like leading to something, maybe, but you know,
Yeah.
No, she just, the whole, she's like old as eons and like just is like pure evil,
And, like, the bear and the
that's so-
lions in her belt buckle kind of put you off.
It's just a lot. There's a lot going on there, and it's just. I mean, like, I don't know, like bears and lions, like you know, everyone. I like animals, you know, they're fun, but you know, that's a lot in like the face right there, you know, like whoa, like
Yeah.
there's a lot going on.
Yeah, it's a lot of danger in a specific region.
Yeah. Thank you, Ray. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and doesn't she have like poisonous like weapons too?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she
Like,
does. This is true.
Not
Not fun.
Yeah. So yeah, we can move on. I just wanted to establish that like in case anyone was curious.
That's your limit.
A no.
That's a no. Cool.
Well, some of them are just too scary.
All right.
And it's like, if you're that scary, you gotta make up for it with a good personality. And she's just not putting in that
No.
effort for me.
No, there's not a lot there. Yeah, that's the thing. Kelly is just so whiny. That personally. But when we get to the Sphinx, like, I love an intelligent woman. So there we go. Checks all the boxes.
Amazing. We love it.
I feel like we're getting a lot of work done to, like, humanize Luke recently.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, he's, like, disagreeing with monster people. He doesn't want to be around Compy. Kelly is, like, taunting him by saying, like, do you find destroying your old camp unpleasant? Yeah, it's a whole thing.
He probably does, Kelly. Like, damn.
She's like,
That's insensitive.
she's like, you
Like,
shouldn't
yeah,
feel
he
power.
probably finds it unpleasant. Yeah, like, I don't know if I love, like, an evil character. I love Luke. Personally, yeah, I don't know. I like Luke. I've always have. And I think he's, like, the perfect foil to Percy. He's really interesting in this book. And yeah, to be honest, Kelly, he probably does feel some guilt or like sadness or remorse about destroying Camp Half-Blood, because it's one thing to like leave that place behind and leave those people behind and like move, like he's moving forward with, you know, his evil shenanigans. But this means it's no longer left behind, right? Like it's coming back to destroy it.
Yeah. Right. Kind of reopening some old wounds, probably.
Exactly. Yeah, like it's one thing to be running around with Kronos, like doing evil shenanigans, being like, oh, I hate you, Dad, all of that stuff. But he still has like those good memories, and now it's like he has to destroy the place that he has the good memories from. So yeah, Kelly,
it was his home.
He does feel bad.
It was one of the first places he was able to be safe for a while.
Yeah, safe, like himself, with other people like him.
Yeah, and it eventually just wasn't enough, but that doesn't mean that it didn't mean anything to him.
Yeah. How old is he in this book again? He's like, what, 20?
Yeah.
20-something,
21? I feel like 21 or...
It's like 21 to 23, something like that.
Yeah.
I cannot remember, though.
I think so. I'm like... I don't know. I'm 23, and if I was him and I was destroying like a safe home, I would feel bad.
He's, I want to say, 7 years older than Annabeth.
Yeah,
so,
I think so.
So maybe 22. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
That sounds right in my mind.
Yeah.
So yeah, he doesn't like it, but he lets Compy hold the Ariadne string because like it's great honor, you know.
And important note that Percy notices his sword is gone.
Yeah.
Backbiter is gone. He's got a scabbard, but no sword. So interesting that Percy is like, oh, it's Luke. Oh, he has no weapon. What's going on? Interesting that like Rick was like, hey, this is something that could be interesting later.
I literally don't remember what's up with that, so it'll be fun to find out.
That's all I'm gonna say. It's just he has no sword. Where'd his sword go? His stupid name, Sword Backbiter. Oh my god. Come on, King. Get a better sword name.
Okay, well, so Backbiter is also one of Loki's like other names. So it's like it's possibly named after Loki, I guess? I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah.
Fun
Probably,
little rejection
Rick,
of his Greek heritage.
Yeah, that could be cool. But yeah, no sword.
I don't remember if we already established that, like, Hecate was on the side of the Titans, but, like, here it's, like, kind of made explicit that they can call on her for help. You know, the goddess of witchcraft.
She's a slay.
I feel like it's definitely been implied before that she was, like, not with the Olympians, at least.
It was definitely like, oh, yeah, the minor gods are stirring, but, like, now it's like, oh, we can, like, literally just call her up.
Yeah.
You know?
Which is a slay.
Definitely.
Good for her. Good for her. You know what? Good for her. Yeah.
So Kelly, like, rips Percy out of this dream, and into the next one, where we get some backstory. We have a small boy who is not Nico, and Daedalus.
But he does say Nico's age, like, very specifically. Percy's thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's, like, 12 then.
Like,
12?
11?
11?
Nico was like 10 in the last book. So
for some reason I thought Perdix was a lot younger, but never mind. Okay, he's like 11. I mean, still child murder. It's still bad.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. But I was like, damn, this 6-year-old's like smart. He's not He's like a tween. Okay, this suddenly makes a lot more sense. Yeah.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, this is like a sad scene. I don't know. This is like pretty dark. Yeah,
Daedalus is just kind of like grumbling to himself, like, you think you're so much better than me.
Perdix loves Daedalus so much.
He does.
He is looking up to him.
Yeah.
He is constantly like trying to like put him above himself. He is doing everything he can be doing right now, but also he is constantly saying the wrong thing.
He definitely does remind me.
But he's also a child.
Yeah.
Like, he's not, like, how is he supposed to know?
Yeah,
right?
literally.
Yeah, he does remind me of the Titan's Curse Nico. Like the little boy who's just, like, following you around and is like, oh, that's so cool. Can I do that too?
Yeah, excited by everything. Yeah, and throughout this whole book, like, before this, Daedalus is, like, the creator of the labyrinth. He's this genius. We're slowly, like, unraveling more. He's this tragic figure. You know, he lost his son. Annabeth looks up to him so much. Percy sees him as this, like, tragic figure. They're trying to, like, you know, eventually find him. And then we're in this chapter, like, oh my god, like, he's a child murderer. Like, kind of, like, full stop. Like, as a reader, if you, hadn't read this before, as a reader, or didn't know anything about the myth, it's kind of, like, this shocking episode.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So here we get the whole thing about, Daedalus, you could, like, live on forever, maybe? Like a bronze man?
Mhm.
You ever thought about that? Just putting your soul in an automaton? So
An
maybe
11-year-old came up with
Yeah.
the secret to immortality before Daedalus did.
Yeah.
You know?
It's interesting when he suggests magic, though. He's like, oh, like, let's combine engineering, advanced engineering, and magic. Daedalus is like, oh, it's like magic. But, like, that's ultimately a great idea. Like, wow. I don't know. It's interesting that Daedalus hadn't thought about that before. And it's, like, interesting to see his kind of aversion to magic as an inventor. But then we see him kind of, like, look at it. And he's like, then the gears start to turn. And yeah,
Right.
Perdix came up with that. So
Yeah. Also, I should have looked this up before, but the whole thing that Perdix says the animus, the soul in another form, it's like a whole thing that's kind of Greek, but not. I'm not getting into this. This is a lot. But
it's very, like, philosophy.
yeah, but it does.
Yeah.
It is like from the Greek word for wind. So and in Latin it does like mean spirit. So yeah, weird shit.
So things that happen that make Daedalus upset. Perdix is 1, smarter than him. 2, the king likes him better.
Mhm.
3, he makes him feel old. He mentions his joint swelling. 4, he talks about his son dying and then implies that it was his fault because his wings weren't good enough. Not
mean,
on
that's-
purpose.
that-
Yeah, but
Yeah, but also I can understand why that's a little, like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, No,
jarring.
it's horribly
That was bad.
insensitive because that's how 11-year-olds are. That's what literally
Yeah.
Nico was doing in the other book. He was just like saying
Yeah,
whatever
shocker.
shit came into his brain.
You know what?
Mhm.
This kid has ADHD and like no filter, so
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
it happens. But what Daedalus does, super fucking fucked up.
Yes.
Yeah.
It almost it's like pushing him would be too cliche. Like Rick is like he has to get like clever with it in a way
Yeah.
that like feels less brutal and yet somehow worse because it's like
It's
trickery.
crueler.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like engineering. He engineered his death.
Ah.
And, you know, that way he could be like, oh, like he slipped. Like I didn't push him. There was no physical like push. It's like, oh, like it's not my fault. He slipped. And he tried kind of like channels like a little bit of that. Like, I don't know, it's kind of like strangely sassy to Athena too. He's like, oh, like it's like not my fault. Like he slipped. And it's like, no, that's straight up murder. That's like, that's
Yeah,
like your actions directly led to it.
it's so interesting.
I also like that Percy can like feel it coming and how like that like ratchets up the tension in the scene.
Mhm.
Percy's like, "Oh, get that kid away from that ledge! No, 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 no!"
Yeah.
Like he
Yeah.
sees Janice. You gotta make a choice. Make a choice. You gonna kill the kid or not?
I like seeing that come back. That's fun.
Very, very
Yeah.
interesting. But go on, Perdix. Make your wings. Be quick about it.
God,
Dude.
that's such a dick thing to say. What
Dude.
the fuck?
Yeah. Honestly, if I was Athena, like, why wasn't her punishment more severe? Do you think? Like, why did she let him kind of get away with it?
Because it's your kid.
And he is still one of her favored. You know, he's
Yeah.
the most intelligent
true.
inventor on the planet.
And this is where we learn that Daedalus, in this universe at least, is a son of Athena. Because he calls her
Mhm.
mother.
Yeah, we learn. So, I mean, there's that. But also, like, Greek mythology, especially what Rick has referenced so far in this series, has proven that the gods are pretty, like, harsh with their punishments.
Yeah.
And this kind of seems like a getaway scot-free, almost. Like, I don't know. Athena, from what we know of Athena, too, I was surprised rereading this and being like, that's a little lenient. Like, you're not even going to curse him to be, like, blind or something. Like, take away, like, blind for a period of time or like, everything he tries to invent, like, turns horribly wrong or something like that.
Yeah, she's
but
usually
she doesn't
I don't know.
want
much
that.
harsher.
She wants him to be able to invent.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
But I feel like the gods are so fickle and that they don't have a good concept of mortal life, that their punishments are normally going to be like wildly improportionate. You know, you can like do a minor slight and they're like, oh, you're an animal forever now, bye. And
win a sewing competition, and Athena will like
yeah, literally.
I mean, maybe it's
the shit.
Yeah, maybe it's just because she's like, you killed a child, be gone with you. It's not like he did it against her specifically. So
yeah, but the child had my blessing. I mean, the gods kind of look down on murder when it's someone else.
Yeah.
They also usually
when it's them doing the
on
murdering.
family murder. Family murder is usually
yes,
bad.
specifically that.
Yeah, like patricide is terrible. Especially, I mean, the fact that like this is his nephew. Yeah, family murder and child murder.
No,
But she
they don't
also
care
said
about
this
child
child had
murder.
my blessing. Well, Perdix had her blessing. Did Daedalus know that? Or is she only just now being like, he is super smart because like he had my blessing and I was watching over him?
I feel like if you live there, it's like implied that if someone is super smart, then that is... No one gets to have their own accomplishments. Like,
Yeah.
it's all God stuff.
It's
It's all because of Athena.
Yeah.
I think she's
Athena's
like,
really
you're
interesting in this
supposed
book.
to know that he has my blessing.
Yeah. She's always been a really interesting, I mean, obviously, like, I love the Greek goddesses in particular, but Athena especially has been interesting because she's not, especially in these books, she's not exactly likable, and I kind of like that. Like, Rick doesn't make her especially likable.
Exactly likable in
Right. I
mythology.
feel like some of the other goddesses get too softened, and I'm glad that she kind of doesn't.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Aphrodite.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I could talk about that until the cows come home. Artemis, we don't get enough Artemis screen time to really like do that, but Athena is like, yeah, she doesn't have a lot of moments, I would say, in these 5 books that we would call redeeming, I guess. Like she's seen often as like too rational, too cold. It's, we're reading along with Percy, right? And Percy has a crush on Annabeth, right? And so there's that also the, her whole like, stay away from my daughter thing. So we as the reader kind of get like why doesn't Athena like Percy? Like she should give him a break kind of thing. But I don't know. She's really interesting in this book especially, and I like that this chapter kind of digs into her and Daedalus a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, that's the end of the dream. Daedalus has been marked with something.
Well, he screams in pain. He's getting some sort of punishment. We don't know what it is at this point.
Yeah, that is all that we know currently.
It's so hard. It's so hard, y'all.
Percy also experiences this, which sucks.
Yeah, that's
not fair.
My God, that sucks so much. Just like osmosis, dream osmosis.
But he's fine.
Like strangulation. He's fine. Yeah.
He's okay. When he wakes up, Grover is watching the Nature Channel because he misses Juniper. Adorable.
Yeah. Which is sweet.
And then he's like, well, Percy, guess what? I'm fucked. I haven't found Pan and the deadline is passed. So he basically can't go back until he finds Pan.
Yeah. They have a really tender moment, though. I really like their friendship. I wish we saw more of it. There's a couple things I wish, in hindsight, I really do wish we saw more Grover and Percy in the series, aside from Percy always being like, no, Grover, like, you can do it. I don't know. I wish they had more interactions. I wish, like, Grover could give Percy more advice, because it often feels like Percy's giving Grover advice. I wish it could be more of that.
It feels like their dynamic becomes kind of one note. Yeah, I would like to have a little bit more complexity from Grover.
And Grover's supposed to be, like, much older than Percy. Come on, impart some wisdom on your buddy. You're, like, 30.
Yeah,
Come on,
I think
dude.
he was 16 in the first book or something like that. Grover?
Yeah, the satyrs, like, they age so much slower, like, half the time. So he's, like, almost 30. This boy.
Yeah. But Grover often gets, like, shafted, I think, into, like, the more comedic role. I wish we saw... I mean, I really like this book particularly because we get to see his interactions with Tyson, and I think that really grows his character.
Yes, it's so good.
But I wish... I really wish instead of, Percy always being like, it's okay, Grover, like, you can do it. I wish Grover had more of that role once Percy starts getting more and more responsibilities. Like, I wish it was more equal. But
agreed.
There's only so much time.
So the next morning, Percy wants Nico to come with them, but he is kind of depressed. Probably didn't sleep.
More depressed?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's an understatement of the year.
he's wearing a
Of
giant
this
black
book.
robe.
Miko is kind of depressed. Yeah. Yeah.
This small goth boy. He needs protection.
Precious. Yeah. He needs a hug, god damn it.
Yeah.
Like-
he can stay there with his uncle Eurydion, the Texas guy.
I love
Okay.
Eurydion, like, so
I
much, actually.
know. Yeah, and it's like, oh, like he's shaved, he has like a new belt, and like he's got like an outfit on. He is ready to live like his Texas Roadhouse life, like ready to become a rancher, ready to do the things. And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna like watch over Nico, like I've got it, don't worry.
Yeah.
And so you're like, oh, like slay.
He's gonna sign up
Slay.
for a rodeo. He's not gonna
Absolutely.
sacrifice
Yes.
the cattle, the sacred cattle.
I know, like
I love this movie.
I
What
like
did
him.
he say? He's gonna have soybean patties? God, I love.
Yeah.
I know, especially when you consider that this came out in what, 2000 and I'm gonna look. I'm
5,
looking.
6, 7, 8,
2009.
9. Okay.
Yeah, 2008. And like meat alternatives were very different, and like the attitude in
Mhm.
society about like veganism, and like not to like go on a weird vegan rant or something, but no, just the attitude was so different than today.
Yeah.
So like I remember reading as a kid being like, what, like soybean patties? Like what is going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So slay, we love like a vegan king.
I
We-
could
we
go to
love
this
man.
ranch and eat something there. That's wild. How many places in Texas could I say that about?
You know what?
Yeah.
Rick is trying to redeem
Yeah.
Texas after he represented it so horribly, and he's like, this is the one Texas man who's good.
This is a valid Texas man. Yeah. Yeah.
Not all Texans. Eurydion would never.
Not all Texans. Yep. Yep.
Hashtag not all Texans.
Mr. Cowboy. I love him. And he's so helpful. He gives them like his favor from the faces too, which is like
Yeah.
really nice. Like, I don't know, that's if a god gave me like a not a get out of jail free card, but something like that, I would keep that. I'm not going to give that to a gang of raggedy kids.
Yeah.
Eurydion has DILF energy, and that's all I'm gonna say about that.
You're not wrong.
And he's gay. I just want to put that out there. He also is gay.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
agree.
you're right.
Yeah,
I
he's
support
gay.
him. So yeah, he gives them the metallic spider that'll lead them to Hephaestus. Annabeth is scared of it, but they follow it anyway through the tunnels.
As soon as because Annabeth just like yells and drops it, and Eurydine's like, "What?" And
Really
as
dramatic.
soon as he's like, "Oh," he looked embarrassed. Sorry, miss, and like,
Yeah.
Sweet man.
He's a gentleman.
literally.
Not all men. Not all men.
Eurydion would never do that.
Yeah. He would make sure that you had food at the barbecue.
Absolutely.
Vegan friendly.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
So
And then we go back into the fucking labyrinth.
we do. And of course, Annabeth is afraid of spiders, but she's not afraid of like death by monkey bars over a pit.
Yeah, those monkey bars. One note about those monkey bars. I would not be able to do those monkey bars.
Yeah, I would die.
Like,
Let
It's been a
Tyson give
long
me a
time
piggyback.
since I had the upper body strength.
yeah, like, I guess it's because they're demigods, but I just want to say, I would simply just turn around. I would see monkey bars and I would go, oh, I guess I can't go this way.
I guess I'll die. It's the meme.
Yeah, guess I'll die. Yeah. See, the guess I'll die. Upper body strength, we don't know her.
No, not at all.
Mm-mm.
So then we
Okay,
have-
okay. I have to talk about
Oh.
Tyson and Grover. They
Yes.
start this book
Yes.
not getting
Yeah,
along.
See?
Tyson gives
Yeah.
Grover a piggyback ride across the
Yeah.
100-foot
Yeah.
drop monkey bars.
Yeah,
I-
Grover didn't have to do the monkey bars.
I'm
Right.
living so good.
Friendship.
Friendship.
Yeah. I love those little like moments that Rick is putting out throughout the book and like as the book goes on as well between Tyson and Grover.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. I love them.
It's not something that gets focused, but it's something that will just pop up every now
Yeah.
and then, this like little developments in the background, and I love it. I'm eating it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good shit.
So yeah,
Awesome.
we run into a lot of skeletons, a ton of them.
So many
And also broken pencils.
skeletons. What do we think of this
Yeah.
power move of just like so many skeletons all around? And
I love it. It's setting the mood. It's setting the vibe. It's very like, not only are there skeletons, but broken pencils. The broken pencil is a sign of, you know, how academia is broken and the testing system is broken as well. And we have to reform the education system. It's just, the broken pencil is a great metaphor. Yeah. Rick is saying
Beautiful.
so much.
I love it. So we see her, the Sphinx. There she is. She would have been pretty, but her hair was tied back in a tight bun and she wore too much makeup.
Yeah. I read that. I'm glad you brought that up, Charlie. Thank you. Because I want to just talk about that statement for a second. She would have been pretty, except her hair was tied back tightly and she, quote unquote, wore too much makeup. Now, Rick, what do you mean by that statement? What do you mean? What defines too much makeup? What do you mean? Like, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say. I don't like it. I was like, also Percy, technically, it's Percy speaking. And I was like, Percy, you're 14. What do you know? Yeah, what do you know? It probably takes craft and care and like more time for that Sphinx to put on her makeup every morning while you just like teenage boy self, you're like self out of bed. You're running around the labyrinth all raggedy. And you have the nerve to comment on this like person's outfit and presentation? I think not.
See,
that's all I'm
I want to know if she has like sexy librarian vibes. Like you know, like the stern
Absolutely.
look.
I think
I feel like
that's the vibe.
Good.
Yeah. I want like what makeup brand is sponsoring her? Is it like Clinique? Is it, you know, like where does she what's her go-to at Sephora? I want to know. What do you mean by too much makeup?
Does she also have like the cute little glasses that like she's constantly pushing up, you know?
A messy bun. No, I'm thinking like a claw clip, like hair pulled back in a claw clip, and then like, you know, like sterner makeup, maybe. But I don't know. She's still a slay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tyson has trauma.
My boy Tyson. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been attacked by a Sphinx before. I guess there are multiple Sphinxes.
I guess maybe it's like maybe they all are like monsters per se, but some of them are like more riddled person. Like, I don't know, that Sphinx didn't ask Tyson a riddle, it just attacked him.
Yeah, we don't have that backstory other than like he got hurt. Maybe this is the Sphinx who's obsessed with riddles, and like the rest of them are all just like, fuck that, we got claws.
Yeah, she's the black sheep of the family. Like, yeah. Okay.
We don't have to go through this whole rigmarole.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm living for this, like, trivia testing, though. It's giving Jeopardy! It's giving, like, there's spotlights beside her. There's, like, a contestant podium. Annabeth's like, I'm ready to have my, like, moment.
I still think Jeopardy is better than this, though.
Like, well, yeah, I would agree. Like, this is, like...
This is a standardized
my bar
test.
Trivia I go to on Monday is better than this.
So,
like,
this is just straight up question and answers. Don't like it.
The vibes of this scene are exactly like Metaton's introduction in Undertale, where like a thing shows up and it's super scary, and then the like lights come up and it's like, welcome to today's quiz show.
Yeah, like jazz hands. Yeah,
literally.
I don't know if this is like a hot take, but this little scene in the chapter felt slightly lazy writing to me. This could have been much more fleshed out. Like, this was like almost like an afterthought, especially when you think that I don't know, just the whole like scene with the Sphinx, I don't know, he could have done a lot more with it. I think it was a bit more of an afterthought. And if he was just like, oh, like quick. Annabeth gets like a weird character where she's like, this is an insult to my intelligence, and then like the scene ends, and I'm like, this could have been, let's explore that. Like, this could have been longer. I don't know.
I feel like it's only here in this chapter to give us like an action set piece before we move on.
A monster. Yeah. Which is too bad. Because Annabeth versus the Sphinx could have been... I want to see a battle of wits. I want to see it.
I want to see it.
But that does go against what Rick is trying to do with what... You know, I do think that he's just adding this in to like have a monster and just have this be like a fun little scene. But what he decides to do with that is kind of interesting because... Annabeth is so incensed that she is not being challenged to think. Where's the line? Let me see if I can find that. Because riddles are supposed to make you think. Think, the Sphinx frowned. How am I supposed to test whether you can think? That's ridiculous. And it's like, that is 100% about the school system and how they just make you memorize facts and trivia and don't
especially
encourage
in history
you.
class and such.
Absolutely.
But I mean, I would have loved for Annabeth to like challenge the Sphinx and then the Sphinx to have come back. And we have seen a little bit more like that rather than just like
letting her develop
die, let
and
me like throw things and I don't know. Okay, Annabeth, like we know you're smart, but like I don't know. Let's. I want to see like I don't know. I wanted to see like a bit more of it because this is like her element.
Yeah,
it definitely could have been more interesting.
Like I love what Rick does with this, where it's like, yeah, you know, I was a school teacher, so I fucking hate standardized testing. Like kids are not learning anything these days, but like. The Sphinx should
knowing
be
the context that Rick is a teacher.
Nemesis.
Like
they should be nemesis.
Yeah.
Literally, give me riddles in the dark, but it's Annabeth versus the Sphinx. Come on.
Yeah, like I would have liked for Annabeth to be like, oh, I'm going to challenge your silly test, and here is why, X, Y, Z. And then the Sphinx have been like, oh, you think that? Well, silly like child, blah blah blah, I am like a Sphinx, I'm old as shit, blah blah blah, I've seen all these people, and then, you know, something like that. I do think also it's interesting, this whole like commentary on standardized testing when we add in the fact of like the demigods have dyslexia and ADHD and how standardized testing not only is it just like shitty for everyone, but it's so inaccessible, like exams and things like that. So just like a note about, you know, I don't know. I like Rick's little commentary on it.
Yeah, what did they do for me? They would just shove me in a special room with like a couple less people. So helpful, thank you guys.
Yeah, there's like a writing and accessibility center at my school, and it's just like you get more time for the exam. But I'm like, it's still the exam?
Yeah.
So like, how is that any more helpful? Like, yeah.
I like that Annabeth raises an objection to this despite the fact that she is passing with flying colors. Like, that doesn't matter to her.
Yeah, she hasn't missed a question.
The integrity to care that...
Yeah, she cares more than I do. If I would just answer the questions and I'd be like...
Yeah, she definitely should have, but oh well.
Yeah,
she could have won. The Sphinx
She's also...
might have, like, I don't know, thrown herself off of something again.
But it goes against everything we know about Annabeth. I mean... what's her fatal flaw again?
Hubris. Literally pride.
Yeah. So she's like, this is an insult to me. I love how she says, this is an insult to my intelligence.
Right.
Where I like to think I'm intelligent. And I would just be like, well, the smart move here is to roll with the insult, save my friends, and let's just keep going. Like, answer all the questions and be done with it.
Yeah.
I like it as a representation of the fact that standardized testing like this is bad for everyone. You know, it's bad for the kids who are challenged by it, who don't do well with rote memorization, kids with ADHD who have trouble focusing. And it's also bad for the kids who are like thinking faster than it, who are not being challenged. It's bad for everybody.
Yeah, but, you know, shout out to Annabeth for being like, I don't want to talk about square roots and, like, former U.S. presidents anymore. What is the other question? I feel like she asks 3 questions at first.
There's a capital of a country.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we have the capital of Bulgaria. We have something about a U.S. president, and then we have something about 16. The square root. And that's all we get. Yeah. I would have liked to see the rest of the trivia questions. Oh, well. Yeah. And I like how she says, it's just a bunch of dumb, random facts. And I like trivia, Annabeth, so...
You know, it would have been cool...
Leave me and my dumb, random facts alone.
If, like, it had been a bunch of, like, little things, and then they had all led to, like, okay, and now all of these things will tell you the answer to this last question or something. You know?
Or, like, the one in Harry Potter. The Spieger.
Yeah, I didn't think that's also, like, the same fucking thing.
The stupidest riddle out of here. When they're, like, they all lead up to, like, this one... Oh,
Spider.
But he's like, Yeah. Anyways.
Hate it. So...
Hate it.
Tyson is like...
That bitch can't ride.
Shit. Annabeth is in trouble. I might be scared of her, but I'm gonna go after her. I'm gonna tackle her.
I love you, Tyson. He's so good.
Yeah.
He is facing his traumas all over this book.
Yeah, this is a sleigh. Tyson, and then it just turns into like we're not testing anymore. We're going to have like a funny, I don't know, there's a lot of humor in like this little fight. It's like, my grading machine, like how will I grade my test scores? And like Grover, plays music, and then the little pieces of wood and the pencils like turn into plants or something. Like, I don't know. There's some humor in here that I really like.
Yeah, it's very cool.
And the Sphinx doesn't die. They don't kill her.
They do not. They have to get out of there.
Yeah, they just run off, and she's complaining about grading tests by hand now.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then the chapter ends with like some humor. So as much as like I wish the scene was a little different or maybe like a little longer, especially when it comes to like Annabeth's character, I like that. I like how it ends on this kind of humorous note, especially since there was some child murder in this chapter.
Yes, that definitely helps. Maybe that's why Rook was like, we gotta change the vibe here.
He's like, oh, scary dreams and like child murder. Oh, let's just end on a happy note. Because let me see. Oh, yeah. Things. I'm glad things end on a humorous note. That's all I'm going to say moving forward. Looking ahead.
I would like to note that it is specifically said that Tyson pulls Grover into the tunnel to get him in before the
best buds.
Room closes
best
again.
Buds.
Yes.
Best buddies. I'm here for it.
Very good.
We're all friends.
All right.
Now. It's very good. Yeah, that's the end of the chapter, my dudes. So, Adele, if you would like to be found on the internet, where can the people find you?
First of all, thank you for letting me talk about monster fucking, because I could talk about that all day.
You know, whenever you want.
And for the Smasher Pass. Seriously, Smasher Pass, hit me up. I will do it. I will do it. And I'll do it for the Greek goddesses too. Mm-hmm. People can find me on Twitter at Adele. I think it's _ Marilyn, but it'll be in the show notes.
For as long as Twitter's around.
Yeah, I know. So Twitter's been like a dumpster fire. I tweet about music stuff. What else do I tweet about? Gay stuff. I don't know. That's where I'm mostly active. Yeah.
And also, like,
only there.
You're coming back to the Deus Ex Media server to chat a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so after like a hiatus of, I think, like 6 months where I was on an undisclosed island full of other undisclosed gay people, clearly. No, I wasn't. I was working on I'm working currently on a master's thesis. So that's where I actually have been. I wish I was on like a Paradise Island. Yeah, you can find me in the Deus Ex Media server because I'm back now. I'm currently watching all of the Star Wars Clone Wars series, and I'm kind of like updating the server with my live episode reactions. And then today I was like, oh my God, I should have started a podcast about it because I'm watching it for the first time. But then I was like, oh, it's too late. I've started it. So I was like, well, guess I'll just like submit everyone in the server to my reactions.
Amazing.
Yeah,
good stuff. Well, plugs. What media plugs do we have? I mean, do you want to plug Star Wars: The Clone Wars?
I actually have a different plug.
Okay.
I have a gay plug.
All right.
Obviously. I want to plug the book The Space Between Worlds by Micah Johnson. It is a sapphic sci-fi novel with I don't want to give anything away. It's good. It's like alternate world jumping, I want to say. It's not too hard of a read. Like a lot of science fiction is really heavy, really intricate. This one is not. I think the book is pretty short. I think it's only around what is it? Yeah, like 300 pages. And it's really good. I really liked it. And I'd really recommend it. Yeah.
Good stuff.
Sounds great.
That's the plug. Yeah. Gay. Yeah. Just gay stuff.
I am going to plug another artist. This time I'm going to plug, she has a Percy Jackson podcast. Okay, let's see if I can do handles. Fojoko on Instagram. PHOJOCO. That's Phoebe from Monster Donut. Does a lot of like drawings while like recording episodes. They're gonna be ahead of us. Like they're starting the next series, but I really love the drawings of Percy and Luke and Annabeth. It's good stuff.
Excellent.
Ray, you got something for us?
We are recording this on April 1st, in case you would like to know, to be aware of that. So something delightful has happened. There's a game for free on Steam that you can download called The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, right. I heard.
What?
Sega said that they've been listening to our feedback and they're going to take the series in a new direction, and now Sonic is dead. It's a murder mystery visual novel on a train. It looks amazing, and I just want everyone to know about it. So.
Oh, and actually, I heard that in the sequel, you get to kill Sonic in first person, and you get to use your choice of weapon.
Good.
And one of them is extremely gory. So stay tuned. Yeah, but it's coming out this day next year. So
good.
Yeah.
Rude.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I just really wanted to kill Sonic. And then the third one, well, you all know what we get to do. Sonic.
Oh my god.
That's coming out in 2025.
Well.
If you know what I mean. No, just kidding. Just kidding. That's too far. Beloved child character, Sonic. Anyways, yeah.
Oh my god. It's always so fun having you on.
Somehow it turns it's always so graphic.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit, but that's okay. Well, remember Free the Titty. Actually, Free the Titty. The soybean patties.
Yeah.
And Fox standardized testing. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the future liberals one.
It is.
Yeah.
So get out of my cabin and do all those things. Why don't you? Go do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I need it.
I'm on a boss.
Hello, listeners! Editing Charlie here with a patron shoutout. If y'all didn't know, our $10 and up patrons now get a shoutout on the pod. So now, I get to shout out our lovely God Complex level patron, Matt. Matt is so wonderful and has been a supporter since we started the OTAG Patreon. Thank you so much for all your support, bud.
You can follow this podcast socials at Of the Eldest Gods Pod on Instagram and Tumblr, and at Of the Eldest Gods on Twitter. You can send us an iris message through oftheeldestgodspod@gmail.com. If you'd like to support us financially, join us at patreon.com/oftheeldestgods. By becoming a patron, you can join the Deus Ex Media Discord server, where you'll be able to chat with us and other listeners about episodes and anything Percy Jackson related. Our $5 patron tier also gets you access to Against All Odds, our monthly bonus show. There, we'll talk about a wide variety of topics, which usually have something to do with mythology. No promises. You can check out our merch store on Redbubble to find custom designs made by Charlie. Or if you cannot or do not want to support us financially, we'd really appreciate a rating, a review, or letting your friends and followers know how much you love the podcast. That really helps. You can find me, Ray, at HeyHeyRay, spelled R-A-Y-E, on Twitter. If you want to hear more from me, check out Barbie Movie Slap, a podcast where my co-host Ted and I discuss Barbie's cinematic universe. That podcast Twitter is at Barbie Slaps.
And you can follow me, Charlie, at GreenPixie12 on most platforms, but on Twitter I'm at GreenPixie123, which I'm totally not salty about. I also have an art Instagram at GreenPixieDraws. I sometimes do the YouTube thing on my channel, Charlie Mac. That's M-A-C-K. Our music was written by Isabel Strauss-Riggs and recorded and edited by Ian M. Riggs. You can find Izzy at Kane_I, that's I as in the body part, on Instagram and Twitter. She also currently makes video essays on the YouTube channel Kane I. Feel free to message her about making music for your project or editing your podcast. Of the Eldest Gods is proud to be a part of Deus Ex Media, which features great podcasts like My Cabbages, an Avatar podcast that follows the true hero of the Avatar The Last Airbender series, the Cabbage Cart Guy.
Coffee, tea, honor, cabbage. Long ago, the four elements lived in harmony. Then, shit went totally cray when the Avatar attacked. Only the Cabbage Man, merchant of fine cruciferous vegetables, could stand against his trolling. But when the world needed some dank veg, he vanished. 10 years have passed, and my partner and I have started a new podcast.
My cabbages! an Avatar podcast.
A weekly show about Avatar The Last Airbender. Whether it's Sokka's new line of cologne.
Hey, look at you, sitting there on a seal. Well, now look back at me. I'm on an even bigger seal. Now look away.
D&D related antics.
You have to make an acrobatics check for that, and Aang just, like, unzips his pants and whips out his D20s. He's just like, I got this.
Or randomly breaking into song.
Go bending waterfall.
We'll stumble our way through the greatest show ever made, one episode at a time.
You can reach us at CabbageCast, which is our Twitter, or
subscribe wherever you catch pod.
Rotten cabbages? What kind of slum do you think this is?
Of the Eldest Gods is based on the series by Rick Riordan. Right now, we are discussing Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Remember to follow us on your favorite podcatcher and meet us back here every Thursday. So maybe that isn't even a thing, and that's just like...
Yeah, that could be somebody edited it.
Yeah, maybe someone added that because they were like, I bet Rick Riordan would make stuff up. You think people would do that? Just go into their novels and tell lies?
Side eye at Ovid.
Oh my god.
Not to bring it back, like... But that's a whole other episode.
Oh my god, Ovid. I have issues with you.
Yeah, if you guys ever do some sort of Ovid slander, I'm here for it, and I wanna come on to slander him.
Always Ovid slander on this podcast.
Yeah.
Dave X Media.